Hello and welcome to Tricks of the Estrade channel. And today's video is about Robert Pattinson. If you've ever watched Twilight, the movie, um, and you've known that Robert Pattinson was the male lead, and the girl, I'm trying to recall what her name was. Um, she was something. I can't remember the girl's name right now, but it was something Stewart or what. You could look up the movie Twilight. You would know the female lead and the male lead. Um, so um, as I always say, and I usually say, that I'm not against anybody being transgender who thinks they can change their sex, because to be technical about it and to look at it from a really deep perspective, it's not possible for you to actually change your sex, because biologically your makeup's not going to change. If you go to the hospital to get treatment, the doctor's not going to treat you as the sex that you claim you were. He's going to treat you as the sex that you're born with. So it's a really big hoax, and it's a perverted nature of things, but it's the world we live in today, and it's the way it is, and there's nothing I can do about it. And like I said, I always say, I'm not against anybody being transgendered. I mean, you live your life the way you want to. I am not the judge. God Almighty, who made heaven and earth, is the judge, and He will judge you at the end of the day. So, the only reason why I'm making this video is about just to show people that there is an organized, like just like you have, like say, um, the Mafia Society or any other organization like a church. There's a hierarchy. There are people working constantly. A medical section, a physiological section that is organized with a correct hierarchy that is into taking children, breeding them in, whether through surrogacy, but at the end of the day, it's taking children when they're born, all right? Mutilating these children, castrating the males, right? And with the females, taking off their breasts and making sure they don't grow breasts. Taking these children before they reach the age to make the choice. Because I believe if you're an adult and you say you want to live as a female when you're male, or you're female and you say you want to live as a male, that's totally up to you. You've reached adulthood, you can make the decision. But for these babies who have no choice, being forced, being mutilated as children at very young ages, and being forced to take, um, hormones and pills, and being fed whether estrogen or testosterone to make them look like what they're not, or force them to live in a sex that's not. It's wickedness. It's horrible. And as I've said earlier, and I'll always say it again, the people perpetuating this act is the Vatican, is the hierarchy of the Vatican that controls this. And the reason why it's so prevalent is because the Vatican has made it to look like a blessing to be this way. They've created a god for it, and they think it's blessed to be that way. So it's giving these people, much, um, it's giving them, let's say, like the right to do it, and they think it's right. And like I said, the Vatican doesn't worship God, not the God of the King James Bible. And these people are really religious in what they're doing about it. It's a form of religion to them. They are worshiping a different kind of God. And the Vatican is just a facade and that tells you that it's worshiping God. It really isn't. It's a facade to confuse those people who have like genuine minds and genuine hearts and are actually looking for God. So with that said, I want to get into the video and show you what I mean. Now, Robert Pattinson to us has been presented as a male, right? But if you look closely, you would see that he has hips and an hourglass figure of a female. You can see the female indentation right here. You follow my mouse, which is above the navel, and you can see how the hips spread out. Now, this picture may not be really clear, but I'll show you some more pictures to prove what I'm saying. And let me show you some more pictures. Now, here's Robert Pattinson again, right? You can see he has the hourglass figure that a female usually has if you follow my mouse, right? And most of these pictures that really show what he looks like, because it's an organization, just like I say. They have people working in the labs, they have the mothers, they have the fathers, if that means if they're raising them like as surrogates. There are some other people who have like there are families also involved in it who raise their children, sons and daughters in the opposite sex this way. So they have labs for it. Then they have the media which they own and control, so they can Photoshop and photograph the pictures and every other thing else with the help of the Vatican at the top, who is in control of the hierarchy. Because how Hollywood really works is that the Vatican owns with the Jews as their smokescreen. They own the studios. They own the production of movies. They sometimes own the whole entire cast, not everybody, but some of them. So, like the producers, the directors, the screenwriters will have to be affiliated with them in some shape or form. So that's how it actually works. So this photograph here has been photoshopped and put, so that's why it's blurry. That's to show you that it's been tampered with. It's not in a it's not normally pixelated as it should be, but you can still see that he still has the curves like a female. You can see the female hips right here. You can see the female indentation right above his navel. You can see the hips right there, glaringly for you to see that he has curves. Now, if you're not aware, if you don't know how to tell what difference between male and female, I suggest that you watch a primer video on this channel and you download the document that will be attached to every video that we make. Now, let me show you what a female should look like. All right. Now, this is a female, regular female. You will see that the female waist, it starts above her belly button, right? The indentation of the waist starts above the belly button. This is where the female upper body is differentiated from the lower body, as you can see right here. So you see the hourglass figure as it curves. And this is what Robert Pattinson has, which goes to show you that he's not a natural born male, but he was born female and then mutilated, force fed hormones, because the feeding of the testosterone makes him look like he will start before he hits puberty, start look like he's developing male secondary features, which would be like growing a beard and much more muscle in the upper body. But the skeletal structure never changes. No matter what you do, it will still remain the same. So that's why he still has this female hips and curves, right? Another picture to show you what I mean. As you can see from this picture, I mean, all the pictures that I've found that, that looks like it's going to reveal a lot, they make it very small and not pixelated well, but you can still tell it's Robert Pattinson. You can see that he has an arch in his back, right? And only females have an arch in their back because they have to carry the weight of pregnancy. So it's extra support so she doesn't crumble under the weight or develop problems for her and the baby. So this is the reason why females always have an arch in their backs. As you can see, Robert Pattinson has one, which shows that he's female. He's not a biological born male. To show you the difference in the males and females in their backs, there's a picture right here with a male. Males have straight backs that go right into the pelvis, go straight down to the pelvis. Now for a female right here, as you can see, if you follow my mouse, you would see that the arch dips into her back and comes out just above the navel, her navel, if you measure from the back, and back down into her butt area. So that's how females look, and that's how Robert Pattinson looks. Now it's so funny, while I was doing a search on Robert Pattinson, that I actually looked at one of his girlfriends. Her name is FKA Twigs. You can look that up. FKA Twigs. Twigs spelled as a T, a W, I, and GS. And when I looked her up, I found something very weird and strange. And I'll show that to you as well. You can see from this picture, like I said, every picture that has to show a lot about them, they actually make it small, Photoshop, right? And it's not pixelated well so that you couldn't be able to see it well. But you can still see that this is the outline of a male. You could see the face, and one of the tricks, like I told you, that a lot of these transgender people is they do to deceive you, is to grow long hair to hide the wide neck and shoulders. But as you can still see from this picture, even though it's blurry, that this is a male because of the shoulders. And this is photoshopped to make it look like it has waist, but it really doesn't. So I'll show you some other pictures so you could see what I'm trying to say. So here is another picture, right? As you can see, the neck is very wide, but the hair, the long hair on the side, if you follow my mouse, has covered up a little bit more, so you don't see the wide neck. But you're actually looking at this with the shoulders, the very long shoulders that extend away from the body. And as you can see right here, the hands are hanging away from the body like a male. And this is a male as well. But because they're feeding them testosterone, or feeding them, sorry, estrogen at this point, is making them develop like female secondary characters, which will be like small breasts but with very tiny nipples and nipples like a man. The nipples are always underdeveloped for this kind of transgendered people. So let me see if I can find some other pictures of FKA Twigs. You can look it up, and there is one picture that you ought to see. You see the straight back like a male. There's no curve. There is no S-shaped spine. There's no arch in that back, showing you that this is not a female. That is a born male, right? Transgendered into a female and made to appear to you and I like a female. Because if you hear any of FKA Twigs songs, just like the name says here, if you follow my mouse, he sings with a very high pitch vocals, and this is part of the reason for transgendering males to females, because they have the ability to grow their lung capacity because of the lack of testosterone in their body, and then feeding them estrogen makes their lung capacity grow quite high, so they have a great variety of vocal range. So with that said, I hope I'm gonna stop the video right here, and I hope that you've gained some useful information for yourself. And you should subscribe to our channel and keep looking out for more videos. Because once you subscribe, once we make a new video, then you'll just get it. And that's it. Thank you, and bye bye.